we have you in studio. Would you like to highlight one of your classes? Something maybe you're particularly enjoying these days?
One of the ones.
Like everything.
It could be the shotgun one. It's fine.
Because you like shotguns. So there's such a wide array of stuff that we do.
That is true.
That's very true. Yep.
Our new guy, Matt, and Sean have been working this night vision curriculum. And Matt comes from MARSOC Marine background. He's just overall badass MFer. And when we found out that he was really schooled up on night vision stuff, I was like, hey, man, you want to come in and start teaching some night vision classes?
That's cool.
And he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I am. So I went out and bought helmet, PVS 14, got all the stuff that I needed. Now my rifle's hooked up with lasers and IR stuff and this and that. And here I am in the class. I got no clue what I'm doing.
It's cool though, right?
Is that weird? Is that weird for you? Because normally, I know you're an ongoing student. You're always learning. But is that weird to be like completely like noob?
Well, back in July, Chuck and I were down in West Virginia. Chuck had called me and said, "Hey, can you come down and help me with this class?" And I was like, "Yeah, what do we got going on?" And it was for a bunch of like secret squirrel, executive protection for NSA guys, et cetera, et cetera. And
they can't protect themselves.
It's not the agent. It's the people that go to places to like do the tech end of things.
Yeah, the nerds.
They need bodyguards.
Got it.
So we were working with the bodyguards, and Chuck's like, "Oh yeah, 2 of the days are going to be 12-hour days. Outside working the Rogers Steel system, and we're going to work until midnight under nods."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, shit, I don't have nods." And he's like, "I got you." So very, very funny story.
That's an awesome offer.
Yeah.
So very funny story. I get there, and we work the first couple days. It's great. We're there for like 4 or 5 days, and the day before, the night when we were breaking to go home or go back to hotel, whatever. The next day was the night vision day, and Chuck's like, "Oh, here, take this with you to the hotel and get familiar with it."
Yeah.
And I open it up, and it's a helmet, OpsCore helmet, which is like $1,000 or so.
We're doing ballistic, I'm assuming.
Motherfucking quad tubes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm holding this, and I'm like, bro, this
like, is a truck.
This is like 40 grand right here.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm like, this is like 40 grand here. And he goes, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, if I drop this,
no, don't drop it.
If I, something happens, like this,
don't take it to the toilet with you.
And he's like, yeah, whatever. He goes, take it back to the hotel, start playing around with it. I'm like, so you want me to gun up, run around a hotel at night in the dark? And he's like, whatever you want to do, man. So I get to the hotel and I hook the whole thing up, and I'm playing around with like the focus and the settings and getting everything like sort of specced out to my eyes and what I need to see. And I'm like, all right, let me put this thing away. Now, the mount and the bridge kind of lock into each other.
Yep.
Like a ball bearing system. And it's in there really tight. You got to remember like what you're going to be doing with this shit when it's on. You're running and gunning and climbing and doing all kinds of weird shit. And I grab the bridge and I'm like, fuck, it's not coming off. Fuck, it's not coming off. And I don't want to text Chuck. Because I'm like, I'm not going to fucking text Chuck and be like, I don't know how to work.
I'm never going to live it down.
So I text somebody else and I'm like, hey, man, as far as night vision goes, when you put the mount into the one mount and they click in together, I'm like, how do I get that shit apart to put it back in the bag? My buddy's like, just pull real hard on it.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, I got $40,000 in between my fingers.
Terrifying.
And he's telling me, just pull real hard on it. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I text Chuck and I'm like, look, I don't want to break your stuff. It's not my stuff. It's a lot of money. How do I get this thing off so I can put it back? And he's like, pull real hard on it. I'm like, God damn it.
So did you finally just pull?
I'm like, well, fuck you then. Pop. And I'm like, oh.
Okay.
And then I put it back on.
All I had to do was pull really hard.
And I put it back on. And I was like,
didn't you?
Pop.
Didn't you learn pull real hard when you were like 13?
Around 11. Started early, just got better at it. But it was weird because, here you are with this really expensive piece of equipment that's not yours.
Right.
And like, I'm very respectful with other people's gear. Like,
Sure.
Of course.
you're
Yeah.
like, here, you can borrow my rifle, or you
Fortunate
can
to
borrow
be able to
this.
try it, right? You know,
I don't want to bang up your stuff and break it. And, that was kind of, all right, that was all pistol work, which is fine. Pistol I'm very comfortable with. I did learn, we did the class a couple months ago. Pistol work was fine. I had no problem running pistol. But with rifle, there's a little bit more of a learning curve with rifle because you've got mounts and lasers and different heights on mounts that have to match up to, where the rifle's being held based on your body. And
were you able to see? Because sometimes you can see the red dot through the nods.
yeah, I mean, it took me about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours into the class to get, I don't want to say acclimated, but just to get comfortable with running a rifle under nods.
Well, Sean has his own, right? So is he a little bit more familiar? Is he
Yeah, but it is
because he's out there at night doing what he
Oh, yeah.
he does that on his own.
Oh, yeah.